everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today, July 26th, 2026. um, I'm so excited. Today we have Bryan Jurries with us with Alpine Gold Exchange to teach us more on how our gold can be spent wisely and bring more wealth to us, and for many, many reasons. So welcome, Bryan, to the stage. Thank you so much for joining me today. I was so excited to meet you and see you and your wife at the Red Pill Expo.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was amazing to see you in Las Vegas. My first time there ever. That is not my normal place. I'm a Midwesterner, normally there. So it was a culture shock for me, but amazing to see you.
Yeah, I bet. That's amazing. And it is nice, at least where we were at, there wasn't a lot of the slot machines and smoking. So I liked that about where we were at the Ahern there.
Yeah, it was a beautiful hotel. The city itself is amazing to see. I'm not a gambler. I'm not a drinker. So it's not in my wheelhouse any longer. But it was cool to see a lot of the things you see on TV. That's for sure.
Awesome. And I'm so grateful. Today is your second time here on the podcast. So we're so excited to have you back and hear about updates and even get into some of the stuff we talked about last time. For those that are joining us the first time, we actually have more streaming platforms going now, I think, than last time. And so just want to say hi to everybody joining us on Rumble, Locals, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Telegram. Thank you for joining us on each of those platforms. And so maybe I thought we can start with some of our favorite things that we all like to talk about are the gold backs. And I have a little set here of gold backs that I have here, some Nevada gold backs. Maybe tell us a little bit about the gold backs.
Yeah, so I have one. I always have them around as well. This is a South Dakota one. That's where I'm located. Now there's 9 states that have a Goldback series, soon to be 10 by the end of this next month, and then 11 at the beginning of next year. So it has spread a lot since we've talked. Now, what is a Goldback? It's super fractional pieces of gold. One Goldback is 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. And why? What's the whole point? And you had a bunch of different options where it goes from 1, 5, 10, 25, 50. Now we've gotten as small as a half Goldback, which is 1/2000th of an ounce, and a quarter Goldback, which is 1/4000th of an ounce. What's the point of this stuff? Now, this is meant to be a cash alternative in a sound asset. Now, gold has been around for 5,000 years. Now, me and you still like the option of being able to do transactions privately without the government having to know everything about it and wanting to charge taxes. You've already seen this with COVID. Cash is dirty. I go to a local football game here in South Dakota, and nobody accepts cash. Everything wants to be digital. They're slowly but surely pushing us towards that digital world where there is no privacy between me and you, where we can't just do a transaction and nobody else really needs to know about it. Now, that's the point of this, is to keep a cash option, but also do it in a sound asset. Gold's been around for a long time. When these came out in 2019, one Goldback was equal to $2 fiat cash. Now we're looking at just under $8 for one Goldback. That's sound money. Where as opposed to the fiat dollar, the longer you hold the green pieces of paper, the less they're worth. Gold is the opposite. The longer you hold it, the more it's worth. It holds its value over time, especially when you're living in a world where fiat currency just inflates itself. So that is why Goldback, and it's been growing. Like I said, we're going to 11 states now by the beginning of next year. There's over 5,500 merchants nationwide that will accept these as opposed to cash. That is more than any crypto in the country. So that's a brief overview. I don't remember what we talked about last time, so stop me if we talk about the same stuff.
I love hearing it all again too. It's a great refresher, and it's always good to just learn more too. And even for myself, just knowing my options more and what to do with my gold backs and my accounts that I have with you as well. I do love to see that the price of gold has gone up since I bought them, so my gold backs are even worth more. And those of you who did purchase last year with Bryan, your gold backs are now worth more too.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and the gold backs, very very hard to counterfeit. Made in vacuum deposition chambers, ionized the gold, specific measurements. They're made to make change. You had a bunch of different options, so 50 of these is exactly the same amount of gold as one of the bigger ones that you have. The 50, so it's just a cool way to spend gold as opposed to finding a way to turn it back into fiat cash, paying the taxes, the capital gains taxes, and then spending it. So yeah, if anybody within the last 3 years would have invested into gold, you would have almost tripled your value in just sitting there in gold.
Wow, that's amazing. And so it does really show how this is sound money, and that the fiat cash that we all have, that fiat is yeah, we've never gained a dollar having any fiat cash or having a bank account also that how would you even describe that? Like, I guess like those the bank accounts that also make the fiat money.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
so you
Well,
could talk about a little bit difference too about your why it's so important to have an account with you guys too, and then dealing with gold.
yeah. So we've only talked about half of what we do. We do the cash alternative in the gold. We also do a banking alternative. We have a vaulting service out of Alpine, Utah, thus Alpine Gold Exchange, where you can vault metals. So you can vault gold backs. You can do legal tender metals minted by the U.S. government, gold eagles, gold buffaloes, silver eagles as well. Now, why would you do that? Well, I just mentioned one reason. You would have tripled your value if you would. Any savings account on the planet right now, you're getting what, less than 1%, maybe 2% if you're really super lucky. But inflation's probably 9, 10%. We all got $1,200 checks for COVID. My grocery bill's quadrupled since. So, how much are you really gaining on any other platform where you're storing your wealth? That's the whole point. If you would have held it in sound assets, in that even the last 3 years, you would have tripled the value in gold alone. We also have options where you can compound and grow the gold coin. So it's not just sitting in a safe somewhere or collecting dust. You can get it anywhere from 2 to 5% return on the number of gold coins you have in your account or gold backs per year. That's really powerful, where if it's tripled in value, you're also adding more coins every month as well. So you're adding sound assets as opposed to fiat dollars. Now, what does fiat dollar mean? We haven't really gone over that. Now, back in my grandfather's generation, your grandfather's generation, you could take $100 bill into any bank in the country and exchange it for gold coins or silver coins, because why else would we use these green pieces of paper? They're not worth anything on their own. Now, ever since 1971, we've been temporarily off of the gold standard. They took off the backing, and we've lost about 98% of our buying power. Every time you see $80 million here, $90 billion there, the government is broke. If you go to usdebtclock.org, you can see where our finances are. We're almost $40 trillion in debt. Anytime you see money going somewhere, they're making new money. And it's like dumping monopoly boards worth of cash on top of each other. You double, triple, quadruple the price of everything. That is the hidden tax that nobody understands. You go to the grocery bill or grocery store, you're going to feel it. But the government tells you that inflation's maybe 6, 7%. But like I said, my grocery bill's quadrupled since 2020 alone. That's why sound assets. If you hold it with us, it's easy to turn it back and forth. It'd be in between gold and cash or gold and silver. Easy to use it. It's also held in a trust. not tied to your social security number. So a very private way to hold wealth outside of the fiat system as well. Just a way to protect yourself. There's never been a fiat currency in the history of our planet that's ever survived. Ours will be no different. Nobody will tell you that, though, until it crashes, basically.
Yeah, that's so amazing, and definitely why we need to get away from the fiat and start investing before it crashes and before whatever they are doing, because obviously they're doing a lot of horrible things with the banks and the what they call currency and money. It's like you can't even really call it these things.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah,
so
you want to feel like more of a criminal than ever. Go to your bank and ask for $5,000 of your own money in cash. What do you need it for? How fast do you need it? What are you going to do with it? Really, it's none of their business. But when you actually look into things, whenever you deposit something into the bank, it's not your property anymore, it's theirs. And things, we saw what happened in '08. We haven't had a real big pullback ever since then. But if you read The Great Taking, I'm sure people have heard about that in this community. They put in every back road to be able to, instead of getting a bailout from the government, which is probably not going to happen, that wasn't a very popular thing, they can bail in and they can save themselves using your wealth. And the real big secret is there's not as much cash at the bank as you'd like to think, because every dollar that you deposit, how does a bank make any money? They make money by lending out that same dollar 10 times over. So that way, they make the interest back. But if everybody comes and tries to get the physical cash all at once, that's why they're so hesitant, and they try to push everything off to make it harder to get it because they only have so much there, and then they have to close the door, basically.
yeah, that's a scary situation that many of us probably think about. So
Yes.
how is it that we can use our Alpine Gold Exchange accounts to make gold for us?
Yeah. So we have the option to compound and grow with the lease program. Like I said, anywhere from 2 to 5% in more coins, not the dollar amount. So if the dollar amount's tripled the last 3 years, you would have gotten that plus also earned an interest on the amount of coins. That's how you can grow your holdings. But how do we use that? If me and Gloria here, we have accounts, we come to an agreement on a price. We aren't in the same state. I'm in South Dakota. She's in Nevada. Now, how do we do a gold purchase between us? So with our accounts, all I have to do is put in Gloria's email address, how many silver eagles, how many gold eagles, or how many gold backs she'd like to receive for purchase. I put in a transfer to her account. It's an immediate digital transfer, but it physically moves metals within the vault. So, and you're doing it privately, trust to trust as well. So that's the real power. So think of it like Venmo for gold, but it's actual real gold that you can send member to member. That's been really taking off because then you don't have to turn it back into dollars. I just did this. I ordered some meat for our freezer at home. I have 2 young kids. So the farmer wanted to take silver. Why wouldn't he? It's been around for a long time, and he's been collecting it for a long time. So he's enjoyed the big increase in price. So all I did was put in how many silver eagles to send him, and it's an immediate transfer. Then he can liquidate it. He can pull them out, put them in a safe at home, or he can compound and grow it with us. So lots of different options.
And then when you are putting gold or gold backs, I guess when somebody is pulling it out, does the person transferring choose what it is going into the other person's account and they receive it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
if it's
So
gold backs, is it like, do they choose then the state that they want? I know they're all valid in every state as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
so it really doesn't matter the picture on the gold backs. It's the gold is the point. The picture is state pride. Every one of these has been brought out by sound money advocates in their own state. What is the picture on it? What does it mean? Why this flower? Why this animal? That's specific to a state. That helps grow the sound money movement within whatever state we're talking about. But yeah, if I'm vaulting, like let's say I have $100,000 I have in a savings account, I'm getting nothing on it. I want to move it over to gold backs in an account. you can do a wire transfer to us, convert it to gold backs. It will be in random states and denominations, but physically there in the account. So if me and you, I come to the agreement, we come to an agreement on price, you want to receive gold backs. I send this many gold backs. Again, random numbers, random denominations and states. But if Gloria wants to withdraw those gold backs, have them sent to her front door, she says, "Well, I have 27 gold backs. I want to withdraw them as Nevada gold backs. I want this denomination to make up however many you want sent." So that's when you get to specify what state, what denomination. They're constantly making more. Every year they have more and more of them coming out. Like this is a 2024 South Dakota one. They've been making them every year. It's just like a dollar bill. Just this, it's meant to be a gold option that's exactly like cash.
And that's a great thing we could talk about next is spending these, because you can spend them. But I mean, why? Of course, I'm going to hold these because I'm gaining my interest on having gold rather than spending them at this point in time, since we're still dealing with fiat money. But talk a little bit about how we can spend these and how important it is, what states we can, and how important it is to get more states involved in gold backs.
Yeah, so gold backs and what we do is definitely a grassroots thing. So this is how it's been grown. Like I said, if you go to goldback.com, there's where to spend gold backs. There's 5,500 plus merchants nationwide that have gone on, put their information on the website and said, yes, we will accept them, because they probably have experienced what you have. Maybe they accepted them in 2020 and they were worth $2. Now they're worth almost $8. So at times when gold was at its highest, they were $9, $10 each. So they have actively said, come to me if you want to spend gold backs. Now there's other ones, 5,500 plus. That's more than any crypto. But the real power of this is, what's your favorite merchant? Where's your favorite place to eat? You're not going to have a lot of luck, trying to spend this at Walmart or Target or things like that. Walmart sells them on their website at a huge markup, of course, but not taking them yet. But where you're going to have a lot better luck is small businesses. If you can talk to an influencer, I have them in my wallet all the time. Anytime I get a bill, it's, pull out my wallet. Do you want cash? Or do you want gold? Gold, what are you talking about? Well, that's how you start introducing this to new people. Now, it's about a 50-50 shot, depending where you're going to try to spend those. There's a calculator you can show them on your phone. Here's your fiat dollar amount for your purchase. Here's conversion of gold backs. Here's how many gold backs I paid them. Here's the change they owe me. Like I said, it's about a 50-50 shot, but it's a way to get sound money out in your community, because the whole point is to spend these. Yes, there are collectors. Yes, you can gain a lot of wealth by holding them, but if you spend them, you're keeping sound money within your community. You're also finding more people that can help expand this whole project. So that is how you use them. But then also, hey, if it's not a in-person transaction, that's why we have the digital option with the accounts. This has been being worked as well for like online, where you've seen it already. Do you want to pay with cash or crypto? It would be nice to have the gold option as well. Right now it has to be, we come to an agreement, I can send it on the outside, but it is becoming more and more popular as the fiat dollar gets worth less. As everything becomes more expensive, everything's getting cheaper in gold, and that can be seen if you do the calculations of 10 years ago, how many gold coins would have taken to buy a house. It's a heck of a lot more than it is now, whereas dollars is the exact opposite. Why is gold worth more? Because the measuring stick of the dollar is dying, and that's why it's worth many more of those measuring sticks, basically.
Well, I love that, and I'll start trying to spend more of mine, and then I'll just have to buy some more.
That's the whole point.
Spend some more.
Yeah, personally, I try to keep as little bit of fiat money in the fiat system as I have to. Pay my mortgage, pay for things. But the whole point is The longer you hold them, the less they're worth. That's why you see, what do wealthy people do with their wealth? They put it into sound assets, whether it be businesses, land, gold, and silver. Land, gold, and silver have been around for 5,000 years. Everything else has come and gone 100 times over. That's where the real wealth is. That's the wealth that you can pass down through your family, through the ages. What's always going to be worth something that's been around for 5,000 years. That's the whole point. Put your money there as opposed to whatever, pulled it in your bank account, whereas they just get devalued overnight the longer they sit there.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, gold is biblical. So we're talking about, we could go all the way back.
Yeah, literally call it God's money. What is here on this planet was put here when the planet was created. And it's been through all of us crazy humans coming up with all these different money systems that always start off, backed by gold and silver. It's a circle. So it always starts off backed by gold or silver, because why else would we use these pieces of paper? They're not worth anything. And then they start taking off the backing, because that's how you can buy votes. That's how you can buy politicians. It's a very well-known quote, you can have all the armies in the world. If I can control the money, I win, because you can pay off anybody and you can create money out of thin air. That's the point. That's the point of the Federal Reserve. It's honestly just a big Ponzi scheme that we've been living in for a long time. They valet parked all the cars. That was the gold and silver. We were trading valet tickets, and then they took the cars a long time ago, and we've been stuck with the valet tickets. So nobody understands that, but people in the past generations, like I said, my grandfather's generation, he could spend a $20 bill or a 1 ounce gold coin. They were exactly the same. They were worth the same. He could buy them the same. But if you would have put both in a cigar box, filled one cigar box full of $20 bills, one full of those $20 1 ounce coins, cost him the same back then, bury them and pull them up today, you can still spend the $20, but $20 from the 30s is worth a heck of a lot less than it is now. But the gold, that's generational wealth. It's held its value throughout time. That's the whole point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. And we're talking about having accounts online, but you guys also have branches across the U.S. Where are your branches at?
So I'm in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota branch. We have a Casper, Wyoming branch, Provo, Utah, Alpine, Utah, of course, Delray Beach, Florida, Manchester, New Hampshire. We also have partner branches, Mesa, Arizona. There's Star, Idaho. We're all over the place. Now, think of them like bank branches. We hate the word banks, but the whole point is you could come into my office. I'm constantly looking, and this is the whole reason we're doing this, are people that are looking, one, to protect their wealth from whatever is going to happen in the future, but also, two, that stacker that's been buying when, crazy Uncle Larry that used to say, buy all the silver when it was $7 an ounce, $10 an ounce, and now he's a millionaire because of it. Now, what does he do with it? We have options where you can, bring it into our system. You can earn interest on it. He can set up accounts. I have accounts for my kids that are compounding gold coins as opposed to green pieces of paper. By the time they're 30, who knows if they're going to be worth anything. But again, like we've said, what's been around for 5,000 years, what'll be worth something in the future always is gold and silver and land. They're not making any more of it. So you bring it into our network, you can get equity lines of credit with the metals backing it. So you don't have to turn it back into fiat cash. And it also doesn't constitute as a sale. It's just a way to use these things as opposed to waiting for whatever Mad Max scenario a lot of these stackers are waiting for. How are you going to use it? How is it going to help your family in the future? Can you earn interest on it? Or is it just going to sit in a safe collecting dust until you die and then your kids find your gold eagles that say, technically they say $50 on them because that's legal tender. You could go spend them $50 a piece, but they're worth $4,500 a piece, and they don't understand what you've been saving for that long. And that's the point with the accounts. They can see what it's worth. You can set up beneficiaries. You can easily turn it back into cash or switch it between gold, silver, or gold backs. Use this stuff. You're holding the most powerful assets on the planet right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. I am definitely going to get more involved with my accounts and set up some more appointments as well with you. And that's
Mhm.
a beautiful thing you do as well. You're willing to talk to anybody. If anybody has any more questions or wants to talk to you directly before setting up their account,
Yeah.
you love to chat with everybody that comes and signs up. So tell us where a little bit where we can find you and what that service looks
Yeah.
like.
Anybody that's interested in chatting, even if it's not with us, as you can see, I'm a big nerd when it comes to this stuff. I just got lucky enough to be able to make this my job, helping come up with an option. Whereas our traditional economic and money system is going away, and they're pushing you to a digital world where you think it's bad now with fiat cash. I mean, look at what China has done with their digital yuan. Here's your money. By the way, there's a timer. It's going to expire. Here's your digital geofence where you can use it. Oh, you said something on the internet we didn't like. You're in timeout. Your money doesn't work anymore. We're trying to protect against that. I have young kids. I want to protect them and come up with options. I will talk to anybody about this. Any questions, vet me, ask anything you would like. We have intro emails I can send you. Reach out to Gloria. She has a lot of stuff going on. She can't answer all these specific questions on how it could work for you. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, go buy some gold and silver. This is the whole point. Get your wealth into something sound as opposed to something fiat that can be literally overnight changed to worthless.
Amazing. What is the price of gold right now per ounce?
So gold per ounce right now is $4,070, and that is, I think the last time we talked to you was probably I don't know what, a year ago. Did we do this, or maybe a year and a
Yeah.
half ago? So basically it was probably in the 3,000s then, so it's gone up that much. But just in January, gold and silver, gold was $5,500 an ounce. Silver was $120 an ounce. Now silver's at 60, gold's at 4,000. So what people are doing are, buying. People like me, this is a pullback. I've been buying since it was $14 an ounce in silver and $1,700 an ounce in gold. I'm still great, but the whole point is nothing has changed in the outlook of why gold and silver is worth so much. Our dollar's still continuing to be worth less. We're in all these conflicts now. It's such a manipulated asset because anytime you see gold or silver on the stock market, it's paper gold or silver. They can trade those at will to suppress the price, but it can only happen for so long. And I think January we saw some of it, and then they've suppressed it a little bit. But it's a buying opportunity, and people are treating it like that. So it's a great time to get in if you've not done it before.
Amazing. Amazing. And so one of the gold backs, like one gold back weighs how much?
Yep. One
And the
1,000th of an ounce. So it says at the bottom of them as well. So 1/1,000th of an ounce.
oh,
So
I see.
you could literally melt this down, and we have 1/4,000, which is a quarter gold back because we needed to get down smaller, where you could do small purchases, $2, $4. This is $8. That's the point, is small purchases in gold. Now, you can melt these down. You'd burn through the plastic, the ink, and things like that, and you'd be left with a small little puddle of gold. The 1/4,000th of an ounce is like grains of sand worth of gold. And what happens every time a currency dies, people jump to things that are sound. And gold has done this multiple times. So has silver before. But what have they done in the past? Whereas one gold coin, like I said, was $1,700 an ounce 3 years ago. Now it's been up to $5,500 an ounce. Now it's 4,000. What are you going to buy with that? What people do is they start shaving pieces off. They break pieces off. That's essentially what this is. It's already been done for you. It's been measured. You know it's real. You can make change with it. That's what people have always done in the past. When currencies fail, they look for whatever is holding value around them. Why is there a tulip festival for Holland? Well, their currency died, and people started trading tulip bulbs because they were worth more than their currency. People have done the same with shells. They've done this. Anything. It's not the first time a fiat currency has come to an end. Ours is going to be rough. We are the reserve asset for the whole planet. For the last 50 years, if you wanted to buy oil, we came to the agreement you had to do it in U.S. dollars. Saudi Arabia wouldn't accept anything else. So everybody in the world had to have our dollars. That's why we've enjoyed the past that we've had for the 30, 40 years. Now, that is not the case anymore. We've weaponized the dollar. We've held assets from Russia in our own dollars where they couldn't touch it because it's our dollars. Now, people are working against, or all of the people that we've been mean to for all these years are BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia. They've come together. They've talked about creating their own currency backed by sound assets, a pool of assets, which would obviously include gold and silver. A lot of things are happening currently. Read on it your own. China's just said no paper trades in gold or silver happening. It has to be physical metal. Why would they do that? Well, that's how you find out what the actual price is. That's not manipulated by paper. So whoever holds the most gold wins when our currency fails. We're going to feel it really bad because everybody's holding dollars across the world. They can send them back, sell them back to us. And you think inflation's bad now? That's hyperinflation, and that's happened before. So that's why, if you want to try to protect yourself in the best way possible, put your wealth in sound assets before whatever the inflation happens. Everything will double, triple, quadruple in price, but that includes the price of sound assets.
So explain to us then what that looks like. Forbid that when that happens and the banks crash, but we have our money invested in our account with Alpine Gold Exchange. Explain during that time, what that difference looks like.
When you have money invested in your Alpine Gold Exchange account, you have only purchased metals, gold coins, silver coins, gold backs. You've already turned your dollars into assets. So we are audited 3 times a year by an independent audit agency to make sure everything is there. So it's really just us holding those assets for you in a trust account, not tied to your social security number, where you have options to compound it and things like that. So you already have the assets. So every day, every business day at 10 a.m., we set the price on our platform for 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver, and 1 gold back. So your account will follow whatever the price for assets are at that current time. So back when gold was $5,500 an ounce, that same coin that you would have bought for $1,200 an ounce 3 years prior continues to go up in value. Your account value continues to go up with the gold and silver. Then you can also compound and grow it. You can piece out, like take little bits out if you need to liquidate. Oh, I had an emergency. I need to liquidate this many gold backs because they will only take cash right now. We have prepaid Visa debit cards that can link to your account, where next business day you can liquidate, have the money put onto a prepaid Visa debit card, swipe the card, spend it, pull it out of the ATM, pull it out in cash, brings it to a point where you can use it easily and quickly.
Is there fees on that debit card?
So the old one used to be $10 a month for the card if it was active. Now we've just started a new card, which is being rolled out as we speak. So new card does not have any monthly fee. Even if you have the old card, you could turn it on and off as need be. So what I would do before is, hey, I'm not going to use this until my next business trip. I'll turn it off so it's not active. It's not charging me the $10 a month. Whenever I need it, you can turn it back on. You get charged the $10 for that month. Load the card, use it, and then turn it back off. Now, new card that is starting as we speak. I have training on this Wednesday. So it is happening right now. No fees per month. You can just leave the card active and ready. And whenever you need to put in a liquidation or an equity line of credit, there's that that option as well, where you're not selling it. You just pay back the metals basically that you use to get the funds. It'll be next business day rates put onto the card. You can pull it out of the ATM.
That's great. I love to hear that you guys are growing more and more, have more options, more states selling gold backs, and I love to hear that.
Sound money's a popular thing on both sides. We all put in all the hours to work. I've had family members that have literally killed themselves for jobs they hate for these green pieces of paper that they will at will just devalue. And that's the whole point is, it's a popular thing to put your hard work into something sound that is going to hold or grow in value as opposed to the opposite with the green pieces of paper.
This is where there is a link with health and wealth.
Yes.
And having the proper way that you have dealing with your currency, having sound money, dealing with gold and silver, can really help support you during times that if something happens and what if you do need to spend a lot of money in at the hospital or anything like that, you have to have, it's good to have your back with gold and silver.
Yeah, we're one aspect of that. You want to protect your wealth, what you've been working for your whole life, for your kids, for your grandkids. You got to have the health, because otherwise this doesn't mean anything. You could have all the money in the world with no health, and you got to have something to eat and drink as well. That is the biggest stuff. If you get all these things covered, you're going to be a heck of a lot better off than the person that's relying on the grocery store to be stocked up. Or if that water doesn't turn on on the faucet, what do I do? So this is just one aspect of many. The wealth aspect of the whole ecosystem that you cover. So very appreciative that you are out here giving people alternative options as opposed to whatever you find on the internet.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that too. And I'm grateful for that as well, because these aren't the things that are out in the open being talked about. Unfortunately, because they should be. And so we have to come to places like Rumble and go search for the people that are talking about it, because it is very important. And so I'm grateful to you as well in bringing this stuff more to light and letting people know, because it is really easy to purchase your gold backs. It's really easy to purchase them and have them. It's really easy. Use the links in the chat. Donna's putting them there. Start your Alpine Gold account for free. And start saving and investing in yourself. I bet there's a lot of people that maybe come to you. Maybe they're decide to take portions or most of their retirement funds that they maybe have been saving, and now they have retirement funds, are funding things they don't want to fund, or the growing in places they, where it's not sound money as a back. And so maybe they can come to you as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're designed for. If you have a savings account, you're getting less than 2%, and you can see how much things are increasing in price. You're not winning in that case, no matter how much interest the bank gives you. But also, you mentioned the retirement accounts. We do have the whole system that we have set up. We do have accounts, self-directed precious metal IRAs, where you can roll over existing 401ks, IRAs to a self-directed precious metal IRA. In all those assets we talked about, the legal tender metals, gold eagles, gold buffaloes, silver eagles, or gold backs themselves. If you love gold backs, you can roll over your retirement account to gold backs. Do the same thing where you're compounding anywhere from 2 to 5% return on the number of gold, silver coins, or gold backs that you have. That's a very, very big interest, as opposed to you'd have to get really lucky in an AI stock. And we also have not had a huge pullback in the stock market since '08. A lot of people are nervous about that. So people are wanting to protect themselves with something sound, as opposed to trust whatever system we have set up in this fiat world to stay taped together like it has been.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love it. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask too. So today, what is one gold back worth?
Today, one gold back in our system, $7.84 per gold back. So times whatever big
Nice.
number you see at the top, you had some larger ones. That's what they're worth. So yeah, that is
Very cool. I want to say that it's gone over like a dollar, probably like a dollar and 20, 30 cents or something, probably since last year.
probably yeah. It's
I
I
want to
mean,
say it's six
it all
something when I bought it.
yeah, it all follows the gold price. So back in January, when gold was $5,500 an ounce, one gold back was over $10, $11. So it follows the gold price up and down. We're on a pullback. It's a buying opportunity. Gold and silver's on sale, so they're cheaper now. But the whole point is you didn't lose until you sold it, and the whole point is keeping it in a sound asset that has even a chance to go up. Same thing as like buying a house 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Why is it worth so much more now? Because the pieces of paper that you would use to purchase it now are worth less. So you're getting wealth out of pieces of paper into a sound asset, gold, silver, and land.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, I'm excited to take a further deeper dive into it, and I'll be setting up some more appointments with you to learn more about what I can do
Yeah.
and investing in myself.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
and I
anybody that wants to hear more, if you use the link to set up your account, I'll be watching new accounts that have been set up since this date on the 26th. I will reach out to you personally just to welcome you. Also, see what questions you have. Everybody's situation is different. What part of life are you in? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to uh, grow wealth for future generations? We're trying to get wealth out of the fiat system. Answer all the questions. That's what I'll do. So set up your free account, see what the accounts look like. I'll reach out to you personally. We can have a chat.
Awesome, Brian. Well, I hope I get to also see you at some conferences soon, and maybe Puerto Rico would be awesome if you guys make it down there.
That would be amazing. You mentioned that one, and I mentioned that to my wife, and she was very excited. But we'll see. I don't know. That would be another culture shock for a Midwestern guy out of South Dakota. Is Puerto Rico?
Absolutely. Now it's an extra must go.
Yes, exactly. Well, Vegas was awesome. It was not my scene, but it was. There's never a better time to to get together in those expos. You don't feel like the crazy person. You feel like you're around like-minded people, and you feel that energy of okay, they're not telling you the whole truth, but what can you do about it? And I got to meet you, so many other amazing people, all the good people, the good guys, if you will, in the world. They're not as loud. They're also not going to be the most promoted, but they're out there and they're doing something about it. So,
Amen. Well, thank you, Brian, for being part of that group too. And um, I love that we get to come together and we learn from one another because we all have something different we're sharing. And then we get to come back home, apply the things that we learn from one another, and we're all just better for it. Our families are better for it. Our communities are better for it. But there is nothing like being in person too. And
yeah,
so that fellowship when we're together is just absolutely amazing.
yeah.
And it was so nice to be with you again. And I hope it won't be quite a year till we see each other again.
Hopefully not. Who knows? With the way the world's going, there's going to need to be a lot more meetups for all of us to keep our sanity and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, any final thoughts that you would like to leave us with?
No, just thank you so much for having me on again. Anybody that's interested to chat about this stuff, like I said, I can go on endlessly for hours. I'm a big nerd when it comes to this stuff. Here to answer any questions anybody has. If we're a good option for you, great. If we're not, that's great too. At least you've looked at other options.
Absolutely. And I love using Alpine Gold Exchange, and I really appreciate your relationship, Brian. And you guys are always so friendly. You're quick to answer any questions. There's so many other things that you guys do have available, and you guys love to keep everybody in the loop. And so I really appreciate all that too. So if anybody, guys, reach out to Brian, start your Alpine Gold Exchange account using alpinegold.com/Gloria. And Brian will be reaching out to you soon as well. And you get everything started for you guys.
Yep. And if anybody needs to email me directly, it's just my first last name, Bryan.Jurries, Bryan, .Jurries, Jurries, at alpinegoldexchange.com. So here to answer any questions for anyone.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Bryan. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Have a great one. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you, Bryan.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, wasn't that amazing, everybody, having Bryan on again? And if you guys would like to see our first interview, that interview link is down in the chat as well. But it's so exciting to hear all the great big things, new growth, more states coming on board. I think there's more states that have gold backs than not. And so that's just great to hear too. And if you haven't started your account from last year, it's never too late. Start your Alpine Gold account. And it's always good just to have a backup plan and have multiple ways that you are storing your money. Anyway, I would think that would be a safer route anyway, instead of having everything stored in one place. So it's good to have options. And also, as we are closing today, next week's podcast, we are going to do on stem cells. So stay tuned on all the different ways to get stem cells and what those differences are. And also, it was such a pleasure today being on Christopher Key's show on his podcast channel. And I got to tune in a little bit with Dr. Group there. So that was just amazing too. So catch that interview over on Facebook or on X under the Christopher Key Show, and on my social media platform as well. We shared that too. And Dr. Group also interviewed over there. And actually, if you want to hear more from Bryan, he's also joining Christopher Key here shortly in about another 45 minutes or something like that. He'll be over there live with Christopher Key as well, talking more about Alpine Gold Exchange and how to build your wealth in gold and silver. So appreciate everybody tuning in today. Don't miss out too on Barbara O'Neill's healing retreat over in Puerto Rico. And those links are going to be dropping soon. But one great thing that they're letting me do, I'm so excited to pass on with everybody, is all of my followers are going to have a link to get 5% off of your VIP and VIP Plus tickets. So everybody will be able to use Gloria 5 when the links come out to purchase your tickets. So make sure you keep an eye out and that you save your 5% and use Gloria 5 on those ticket purchases. And I really can't wait to see everybody in Puerto Rico. It is going to be the best healing retreat ever. And so it's going to be so great. We're going to have so many wonderful people there. We're going to fellowship together. We're going to heal with one another. It's going to be beautiful. And so I just want to say again, thank you everybody for tuning in to Hidden Knowledge Uncensored. Next week, we'll be talking about stem cells. And the following week after that, we'll probably have some more interviews. We got some more great, wonderful people that are going to come on. Dave with chlorine dioxide testimonies, hoping to get Snoot Spray and Michelle back in here, and also learn more on chlorine dioxide too. So everybody stay tuned. I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you, and everybody be blessed. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye.